Fire, fire, fire. Kill it. Rasta music, Rasta music. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, sure. SINY. Yeah, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Welcome to There That SINY. Today we got a great show. We got a show that's going to be talking about how Jai broke down his experience. He's going to break down his experience on how he published 5 new books, right?
Yes.
Can you kind of, before we break into the story, could you give the names of each one of them or kind
Um,
of give your summary of what it was like breaking down those,
it was
publishing those books?
it was an experience for me because it's like I've been doing this for a good amount of years now, and I went back to the beginning. I had to go back and go into those memories and those situations that preceded to where I am today. So I named the book uh, Lights, Camera, Obstacles, and it's broken down in lessons. So right now we up to lesson 5. We'll present the first 5 lessons to them, but eventually it'll be 10 in total, 10 lessons.
Okay, before we get into you breaking all these good books down, I wanted to know what got you into creating, being a creative as far as the film, behind the cameras.
Um, uh, it's so crazy because I talk about it in the book. It was my birthday, and I got a call, and it was like, let's go shoot. And I'm like, I'm here with my family. They cook food, you know what I'm saying? And it was that opportunity that if I didn't take that opportunity, when was I going to get that opportunity? I had a film crew that was willing to work with me, and they just gave me free reign to do what I wanted to do, just host in front of the camera for them.
Was this like one of your dream goals to be a videographer, a show host, or whatever?
It's crazy because I never thought. I've been in this industry. I started out working radio, college radio, okay, and I moved into becoming an artist and moved into
Or you're an artist as well?
right. Then I moved into production and managing and all of that, and putting together, artist styles and stylists, everything. And then my kids was born, and it was like that responsibility made me put stuff to the side. Like I still was interested in doing it, but I didn't have the time with raising kids at the same time. So it was like slowly but surely, when they offered me the show, it was like, let's do it because I'm still a part of the industry and I like challenges and experiencing different parts of life. You know what I'm saying?
So I looked at a lot of your shows, and you did a lot of shows, brother. And I would like to commend you on that. You inspire me because I'm one of those artists. I'm a visual artist, and art is part of the camera as well.
Right.
And me meeting you and learning different things, you all have taught me different things in this field as well.
Right.
I wanted to know who are some of your people that you admire for as who you get your energy from in being a videographer and showcase posts?
Well, I think my style is like a little bit of Stephen Colbert. I really like his interviews. I like, you know what I'm saying, his presence. But I feel my biggest inspiration was like Jackie Gleason because we just see him on the Honeymooners, but he was behind the scenes, he was paying people, he was doing, you know what I'm saying? He basically ran all of that stuff there. And it started from like a variety show, and that was just like one of the skits. And he listened to the audience, they loved it, and he turned it into a whole sitcom for them.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. Now that we're gonna just get into the books because I'm inspired to know that how you came about wanting to create these books. Can you kind of break down how you got into, or who was inspiring for you to
I
create the
mean,
book?
I could give them the Hollywood version, you know what I'm saying? I can give them the hood version, which is I ran into a brother like you.
Okay.
And you know what I'm saying? You was willing to show. A lot of times people tell you, oh, you could do this, you could do that, but they never show you, you know what I'm saying, the steps or the process or even a way for you to do it. So you inspired me, and through our interviews, because we did two, you know,
Yeah, two shows about
right,
my
we
life.
did two spectacular interviews,
Yeah.
and within those interviews, I'm like, I was gonna ask you to help write the book for me, and you inspired me to write my own book. Once again, you walked me through the steps, okay? I wouldn't be able to put nothing together, package together, and we talking beyond the studio. Me and him met in the library, you know what I'm saying? It's just that serious. That's why I said thank you very much, because a lot of my guests, you see, I interview a lot of people.
Yes.
But sometimes they just fall out the sky. I don't know where, who, what, where, when,
And that's sort of like how we met.
Right.
It was like we was at an event.
Right, the company event. We at the company event. We're sitting at. They put us at the same table.
Yeah.
And then we're like, okay, we're not gonna sit here and not communicate with each other. So we just start talking, and we've been vibing from there.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
and that's when you know the universe is working.
Right.
You know, but I would like to, you know, like I said, I'm very happy that that I was able to help you, because that's one thing I learned far as being an artist, or just being that's my spirit anyway.
Right.
That where I come from, you know, if you want to teach someone or help someone, you know, I forget how the saying goes. Like you can take a horse to the water,
Right,
something like that.
Right.
But the thing is, if you teach them, you can teach them how to.
No, you can give them a fish, right.
But if you teach them, you'll
How
teach
to
them a
fish,
lifetime.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's sort of like what I wanted to do, was because I even taught other people how to write, publish, and have their own publishing company for as creating books. And,
Right.
And that's something that I always wanted to do, was be able to inspire through my work, and then as well, I also wanted to be able to share my work where you all can benefit from it by helping yourselves, and where you can pass it on. Like you can pass it down through your generation of family, friends, or whatever. So another question I would like to ask was, what inspired you to create or publish your first book? Can you kind of break down what the first book?
You know, when you're writing books, and I have to put the writing in parentheses these days, because people let the AI control everything.
Yes.
So when you're writing books, you want to write about a topic you know, okay? And this is something that I've been doing since 2012, at least, you know what I'm saying, as far as television and stuff. So I wanted to talk about something I felt, you know, an award-winning show.
Talk about that.
Right.
Hold on. Now you gotta
Right.
break that down. Don't just mentioning it. You know, gotta break down. Give us a backstory of that.
Well, recently, last year, a year ago, I won the Best Be Harmonious Award in Brooklyn with Brick TV.
Okay.
So that took my show to another level. We was already rising, because if I have original viewers out there who watch the show, I always change something, add something new. It's just a creative process when you're doing this. You know what I'm saying? You always want to make it better. You always
So was it because I'm new in the field.
Right.
So I want to know more about, so the award that you won, was it based off your experience, or it was based off a certain film that you produced?
The awards are in different categories. So I had done a show with an artist named Empress J.
Okay.
And she came on my show. She sung, she rapped, she played the guitar. You know what I'm saying? She was just above talented. You understand what I'm saying? But the show was so special to me because when I left the studio that day, I went to the emergency room, and come to find out, I had a collapsed lung. Now, anybody watching the show wouldn't know that something that serious was going on with me, but it was like a crossroad for me because that could have been my last show. Right after that, the pandemic started, you know what I'm saying, and life just went like that. So that could have been my last show there. So that show was always special to me. But from her artistry and performance and talent, you know what I'm saying? So we actually won the award together because without her, I would have just been me on the show, right? No harmony, you know what I'm saying?
That's good to know because, like I said, the more I learn in the field of the camera world, the more I need to soak in. Because, like I said, I learned from you and your team everything. So, kind of give us a breakdown on the second book. You know what
we didn't really get the first book.
Oh, okay.
Right, we didn't really get to the first book yet. We've been giving Charlie a break over there. So that's the cover to book number 1.
Oh, okay.
Lights, camera, obstacles.
Cool.
And like I said, it was thanks to you.
Oh, I like that cover, man. That cover is.
I thought you read the book.
No. I read the book. I'm giving you.
Right.
I'm giving the audience.
Right.
The cover. Who designed the cover?
I do graphic.
All right,
design
so
also.
That's why I'm describing the cover.
Right. No.
Yeah.
But,
So that's a great design, bro. How you do that? What gave you the feel of?
I'm just an artist, so when you're like a seasoned artist, like you're an artist. You do the art show. I commend you because I watch the show and it's very informative. You know what I'm saying? And you're very talented. But as an artist, I'm a different kind of artist. I can just look at a canvas and then I already know what I want there, what to add extra. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's how I went into it. Very first book cover.
Very detailed, very, on point on describing what the book is about, lights, camera, obstacles, and lesson 1. And yeah, like I said, I'm an artist, so when I look at it, I like the movement of how you have the circle,
right?
The fonts, everything is designed to want to draw the audience,
it is
to want to know what you're talking about, and that's nice cover, man. See, I'm not just an artist that based off the video, the audio. I look at the visual, the perception, the wording, all that plays a part in creation. And, and studying and watching you create, it's amazing to me, man. And
it's thanks to you.
I know, but I'm saying, but for you to publish 5 books just like that, man, that's.
Well, remember, I started school at 9 months.
Yeah,
so
but I mean, you like fast, bro. Like, you fast, I can't, I can't even, that's amazing, bro.
At this age, I try to slow it down. I would have did the other ones, but I want to make sure that I can put my all into it when I do the next 5. So that's why I took
So where is that book available at?
Amazon. You can get them on Amazon.
As
actually, right. So ebooks is free on Amazon. You can actually go there. You can read the books. You can check it out. I put a lot into the books, but I put a lot into the covers of the books and the title page also. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I was telling you before. When you said, oh, it's a different book cover, I say, yeah, I want to try something new. I could have just probably kept my same cover for every book and just put lesson 2, lesson 3, lesson 4, lesson 5. But then it took the fun out of creating this whole project. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So let me ask you this. For the upcoming people that want to get into this field of cameras, videography, showcasing or whatever, what can they learn from your first book?
They would learn exactly the steps I took to get here on this platform. They will also learn like the obstacles that came up. Like I told you, my show started as a street show, and it was like the first day they picked me up on time, but they interrupted my birthday party. But it was like every other time we worked together, it was like I would meet them at the spot, and then I'll be there for 2-3 hours waiting for them, and then I still got to travel back over here on the island, okay?
Yeah.
And when you're not driving and you're dependent upon that boat, you can't play around, because if that water, anything happens in that water, that boat is not coming across here. You know what I'm saying? So if that factored in, and then like I said in the book, I'm gonna give y'all a spoiler. I just happened to be at home and the commercial came on TV, and it's like free training, free classes, free this, free that, and it was a little bit late, but the next day I gave them a call, and I immediately came in and took the classes, and I thought, oh, I'm ready. And it was like, in those days, your class that you trained with, you had to do a project together.
Okay.
These people battle like roaches. You know what I mean? You turn the lights on, okay, disappeared, and they left me stranded. And it was like, I went to go do something. They said, no, your certification expired. You got to take the classes and stuff over. So then I started the process over. And this time, when it got to that point, it was like I met better people this time, but they were scattered also.
Well, one thing I learned in any field, but mainly in like the art world, the creative world, some people, if they don't see quick results, they give up on it. And one thing I learned as far as an artist or anything that I love to do, you got to learn to love it.
Right.
Once you learn to love it, you know, it's hard to for anything to take you away from it. But there are obstacles.
Right. Yeah, but you have to be programmed to, when an obstacle arises, you have to be programmed to just know your next move, or if you got to sit down and think about it before you make an irrational decision and just say, I'm done with this, I quit, I'm not doing it no more. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes those situations is to toughen your skin and to make you stronger also.
Yeah. And that's something I learned as well. On your journey of creation, a lot of times the obstacles will bring more creativity out of you.
Right.
And make your work even some of your best work.
Right.
And that's something I learned when I create, because I'm creating from my life experiences.
Right.
You know, if obstacles in my way, I see those obstacles as a chance to gravitate from it to use as creativity, you know. So that's very deep, man. I learned a lot.
Yeah, I left one part out is that
ahead.
We got a brother named Terry Converse here. And
Okay.
Terry seen I was kind of leaning towards that path with nobody to do the project with, and he was like, look, you can use the smaller studio. I will work the boards for you. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And you just concentrate on interviewing your guests, finding the guests. You know what I'm saying? And that was the real motivation there, because if I still had to keep chasing around people and trying to make our schedules in sync so we can do this project, it would have never happened.
Okay. Well, that's, like I said, since I've been watching your shows, you have a lot of interviews, and you interviewed some amazing people, you know, and studying the way you interview, the atmosphere and the energy that you bring in your shows, that is very inspiring, you know. Let the people know where they can find most of your shows at.
They can find them on YouTube, or they can find them on the app. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I gotta bake the studio up because I really do like the app as far as video on demands. And they can also watch like when it's broadcasting live on television on the app. So I broadcast every Thursday at 9 p.m. for sure, but I will come on TV in different slots all month. But my specific spot is Thursdays 9 p.m. Channel 34, Variety Channel.
Okay, that's real good. So now, if it's okay with you, can we move on to the second?
Yeah, we can, because time goes so fast. This is like a power hour in here, so.
Oh, now this book here. Yeah, now I like, see, the reason why, like I told you, I went to college where we was in art school, where when we did a project, we had to put it in front of the class so they could critique it.
Right.
So that's what this remind me of.
Okay.
When I look at this project, I look at I look at the artwork, you know, the way you did it, the way you designed it, all that, even the popcorn. Is that popcorn?
Yeah,
Right
it
there?
is. It
So
sure
that's what I'm
is.
saying. All that plays a part in filming, you know.
Right,
'Cause,
right.
You know, so that's what I'm saying. I like critiquing artwork, and I like how you use the fonts. I like how you broke it down. You know, lights, camera, obstacles. Lesson 2.
Right.
So, can you give us insight on this book?
That book was about the budget. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, they put money before they dream. You know what I'm saying? When you're supposed to put your dream first, and by any means necessary, make your dream happen or come true. So I basically talked about how I started in the industry, what my budget was like. Okay. How did I find my guests? Because some people pay for guests. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of these shows
that's,
that you
that's
watch,
the new era.
right? A lot of these shows you watch, they pay for guests, and it's that type of situation. So I'm just helping them maneuver around that, because once again, that can be an obstacle for some people. There's some shows I see here, not your show, because you're like engaging with the audience at the same time you're performing, you know what I'm saying, the talent. But I see shows here where people just sit here and it's like they just talk to, they have a whole conversation with themselves. And it's like you could have been home, you know what I'm saying, and had that conversation right there. But give us something that's going to engage the people, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right. So, in creating your second book, because when I created my first book, it was like a first time experience.
Right.
And then my second book, it was like I ventured off into new areas of creating the second book.
Right.
So what was your experience on creating a second book? Because the reason why I asked it, because when I first published my first book, I was like on a natural high, right?
Right.
And then when I started creating the second book, I still had that natural high, but also I was more hungrier to create more books. So what's your experience with that?
It was more of I got the first one completed, and you know what I'm saying, it wasn't as bad. I didn't, you know what I'm saying, I'm still breathing, I'm still alive, and it's like, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's also a journey for me to go back and talk about some of these things, because a lot of times once you make it through, you never really look back on, you know, what was the catalyst or what happened before you made it through. You know what I'm saying? So it was good for me to go back, because like I said, it's about budget, but it also talks about my first music video. And
Okay, can you get an insight on that?
I had an artist I met. It was a cab driver. Wanted to play his music for me. Heard I do TV. I listened to the music and I was like, I'm gonna get you on TV. Then I brought him on TV, and from his energy, I wanted to film the music video, which turned out to be my first music video. Like I said, I just like to challenge myself a lot.
Was it rap, country?
It was reggae, actually.
Reggae? Oh,
A song
okay.
called Life Goes On.
Life Goes On?
Right, I played the video on here a couple of weeks ago. It's from 2015, 2016, so when it was fresh, I played it on my show. You know what I'm saying?
What was that like shooting a music video?
It was crazy in the experience of I planned everything out, and then nothing went the way I planned it out. So it was like, oh, okay. Right, we're gonna have to add freestyle this too. So in life, don't be afraid to freestyle, or you know what I'm saying, just don't be afraid to make that next move. Don't stand still stagnant.
Okay. Well, that's very interesting. So if while the audience is listening to you break down your second book, could you give them more insight on what they also can learn from it or take from the book to help them in their career?
They can learn just never to think everything is planned out. That's the thing, you know what I'm saying? We plan out things, and then one thing goes wrong on the plan, and it's like, stop, I can't do this no more. Right. That's why I don't edit this show, because you see the crazy stuff that happens. Here's some time if I be like, okay, cut, you know what I'm saying?
We'll be cutting all
right,
day.
right. And then it would take that moment away from it. But just be resilient. I think that's like my biggest word inside that book is resiliency. Right.
That'll work.
Be resilient at whatever you're doing, and don't just let somebody tell you, oh, you ain't going, it ain't gonna be, they ain't gonna watch it, they ain't gonna do this, they ain't gonna do that. Okay. Sometimes the stuff that comes out of people's mouth, you have to really listen and to decipher. You know, I just had a talk with my nephew yesterday where I tried to tell him, you have to know what's a liability and what's an asset. You know what I'm saying? If somebody comes to you and they're like, oh, you still doing that little show? Where did the little come from? Right.
So I also learned about that too as well. That sometimes, you know, you can have people around you that can try to belittle you because they see you doing something you love, but they may have dreams and goals and they're not doing them.
Right.
But they see you even having a little faith can bring jealousy and envy and, you know, things like that. So let me ask you this. Since you've been in this field of work, have you dealt with people belittling you or?
Oh, I get it a lot.
So how do you?
I get that. I get the bullying.
How you deal with it?
I'm just resilient at what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to come across. So I'm a very focused person. So if you can throw anything in front of me, if my eye is on the prize, my eye is on the prize. I'm determined to get there. If I got to grab a vine like Tarzan, swing, you know what I'm saying, then I'm going to get there. But I get that. Even at my age, even at my experience in the field, and you just got to know what to go with. You know what I'm saying? I've never been the type, I'm the boss. I'm the director here. What I say is final. I'm the type like, oh, okay, if you think you can do it, then, right, let's do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, understandable. So we're going to move on to the third book?
Yeah, let's go to the third one.
You got a lot of books, man. That's amazing, man.
Okay.
Now, Lights, Camera, Action, Lesson 3. Okay.
Right.
As well, I like the colors as well. The colors you pick with your books, and also the designs as well in this project. I like it. You know, I like how you.
You see what I was telling you when I said I got to switch my stuff up.
You producing good artwork with the books. And so what they say, the hard truth about independent TV production. Now, let's break that down.
Yeah, that's like the
hard truth. What is the hard truth?
It's not as easy as you see. Some people look at TV and they think, oh, I want to do that. And then when they attempt to go do it, they like, no, you need this, you got to go get training, you got to do this, you got to do that. And it's like, oh, it's really not that easy. So also people come into the industry and they think, oh, they're going to welcome me with open arms. They're just going to give you awards and they're just going to do certain things. And if you don't put nothing in, then you can't expect nothing to come back out of that. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay. One thing I learned about my experience on creating with the camera, it ain't easy. The cameras, the editing, the perceptions,
right,
or how you certain ways you hold the camera, the shots, you know, the atmosphere, the audio, everything about creating that. Now when I watch movies or TV shows or podcasts or whatever,
right,
now I understand what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. So shout out to all the people that's in the camera world creating and making a way. So give us more insight on what else the audience can learn from your third book.
Well, in that book, I think I was talking about locations and finding the right locations. And
what you mean by locations?
like say you, like the documentaries and stuff that we've been talking about filming. Say we go somewhere. Say we want to use Sal Pizzeria, but Sal Pizzeria wants $500 for us to sit in there and film. You understand?
okay.
Right. So I'm basically talking about how to get around, draining your pockets, finding nice locations, or my biggest tip was use your friends and your family. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah, that'll be smart.
Right.
Saving the budget.
Right.
You know, that's good to know because I never thought of it like that. You said, you know, like if you're using like a restaurant or something, you pay them to use certain scenes in the film.
Right, right. So I mean, that's what they expect. But say Sal is my Uncle Sal. You understand what I'm saying? Uncle Sal just gonna say, "Go ahead, free reign." Right, where you need, what you want to use.
Yeah.
Right. So.
And free advertisement for their show or their company. You know?
Right, those people are important too. They want to support, then you give them ways to support. You know what I'm saying? And it works better when, especially like family and friends are working together on projects. You know what I'm saying? It's just better.
Yeah, that seemed pretty, you know, cool. That's where you can get the most support from when there's close friends who have either companies or businesses and locations or atmospheres where you can shoot for free. Cause I know this art studio, that art gallery I was in one time. They allowed me to shoot an interview at their art gallery, and it was pretty cool because it was based off friendship.
Right.
You know, it was based off struggling artists. You know,
Right.
Another artist helping another artist to produce something positive in the community. So. I can understand that. We want to move on to the fourth?
We can go to the fourth, you know what I'm saying? Because we still could chop it up once we get through the list.
Yeah, we
you know
want
what
to
I'm
make
saying?
it through those books. Oh, now you popping. See those colors? See, one thing about your colors you choose to create with is they draw people near.
Right.
You know, like it's sort of like the colors, is no dull colors. All your books have hot colors, you know, where, you know, it draw your attention. So if you see the product, you know, you want to see what's going on. What this say?
They all say the hard truth about TV production because it's one whole final finished product. I just broke it down in
I like
10
how you got the city with the art on top of, with the city in the back of it, you know.
You have to pioneer these things. You cannot just say, oh, I'm gonna do a duplicate of any cover art that you did. You know what I'm saying? You have to pioneer these things and you have to put yourself into anything that you're creating.
Could you break down to us what this book is about?
This book, see, all the books coincide with each other. This book was also talking about location, I believe. That's why it has the buildings and stuff. I'm not gonna spoil you all the books.
Okay. So let me ask you something. By you talking about their environment or whatever on shooting films, can you kind of break down if someone wanted to, like say we was in Manhattan and we wanted to shoot a film, and is it legal or illegal to, like, if you was in an alley shooting a film, could you do that? Like take that footage?
Like a very thin line that you're working on. It depends who owns the property. If it's a public space, then that's different. You know what I'm saying? Access to the public. But if it's a private property, then that's where, you know, the
As long as you don't like show like signs of their company and stuff like that, right?
Anything. You see, these people, they don't even want the video game characters to have tattoos on them of the people. So it's really who owns whatever. You know what I'm saying? If this is where disclaimers. Yeah, disclaimers and the forms that you get people to sign, you know what I'm saying, that gives you the right to do certain things. Now, I would advise somebody if they wanted to use like a major landmark or anything major in the city, I would advise them to either put the proper paperwork in with the local precinct of that area, you know, for the permits and stuff. Or even better, I would go to the mayor's film uh, department that they have where they train you. You go there for 2 weeks of orientation, I think, and then they train you. They give you the professional film crews out there, and you know that's a whole experience too.
Oh, okay.
Catered by the mayor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's something that's interesting to know because, like I said, I do know that there's a thin line between certain things, as far as like, you know, copyright, plagiarism, and those are a lot of things I strive to learn in the, just like in the art world, there's
Right.
plagiarism, there's, you know, copyright laws. So it's like learning the do's and don'ts in this camera world, as far as what I can film and what I can't film, is something that I'm striving to educate myself on. So that's why I wanted to your insight on what are the do's and don'ts of that. So on your fourth book, can you give the audience kind of break down what can they learn? Because you got 5 books, so this fourth book, can you give them insight on what they can learn from this fourth book that they won't learn from the first 3?
Just how to choose the better location. See, each book coincides with each other, but each book has a specific topic to the book. You know what I'm saying? So that totally separates it from the other book. I might mention the other book, or I mentioned it in the other book, like very meta-wise. But they're all real different, and they all have different stories in them. See, I actually talk about the topic, but then I actually go back into my own experience, what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Right. So it's been times like shooting that video. I briefly mentioned the video, but now I can talk about the video in other books because it's pertaining to the topic of locations. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I use one of my homeboys, he's like a brother to me. He owned a store. My first location, this guy, he was like Method Man's manager or something. I forgot the name of his record label or whatever, but he told us, oh yeah, you can come, you can use the facilities. And then when we got there, it's no lights. I have no shots, you know what I'm saying? It's dark, even if I went outside, I don't have no shots, you know what I'm saying? And I had to make the most of it. That's why if you watch my first music video, it's a little bit dark in certain scenes. If I had my way, those scenes wouldn't be as dark, but you have to work with what you have, you know what I'm saying, and make the best of it.
Oh, okay. Nice to know that. We're gonna move on to the 5th book, and we're gonna see, you done switched it up on us.
Yeah.
Okay, now you got A Hand with the Stars. Okay. Lesson 5. Okay. Now break down, because all the other books had cameras, had the city. I want to know, break down this Hand with the Stars.
This cover here is the first one I've done from scratch. All the other ones I use templates, you know what I'm saying?
All right, now that's explained. So this is the traditional way.
Right.
Okay.
So I did everything from scratch there, and it's actually kind of like a homage to the second book cover, where it had them little couple of stars on that one book cover. You know what I'm saying? So these next book covers that's coming are kind of homages to the
There go the
first.
stars there.
Right.
The second book.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a homage to that. I wanted to advance that to that
okay.
right there. You know what I'm saying? The hand, the 5 fingers. This is lesson number 5. You know what I'm saying? So some of these things is just to make people think. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Right. While they're looking at the cover, it's to inspire.
Yeah, it's your creation, and sometimes it's good to, because when I'm creating comic books, and each one of my covers that I create, I strive to paint a picture with with it. So
Right.
when a person looking at it, it makes them think. You know, so when I see that book, your fifth book with the stars at the hand, because we all know in order to do the camera, use the camera, your hand plays a major part in camera work. And with the hand, you can become a star.
Right, right. You know what I'm saying? You got to put it together.
Yeah,
See, when they
so-
say a picture is worth 1,000
Yeah,
words.
so
right.
so all that plays a part, and because like I told you, I create with my hands, and using that camera, you got to be very, you know, you could be either steady
Right.
or loose, or you could. It's a lot of things you're doing when it comes to a camera, you know. And with this fifth book, can you kind of break down what
I think
is?
I'm talking about the importance of having the right team and the right crew.
Okay.
Right. To have the right
Now,
crew.
that's something very, very important. Can you give us, okay, first of all, you've been in this field a while.
Right.
So I want to know, can you give us a moment of your bad experience with a team and one of your highlights and goods of the good, the bad, and the ugly of
I
this?
mean, well, to continue from what I was mentioning earlier about the crew never showing up on time and just I'm not managing my time correctly. I still gotta go home and have a bunch of responsibilities when I get home. So I don't really got time to just be sitting idle anywhere.
Yes.
So another experience with them is I did the red carpet for the Jamaican Mafia movie. The people that made Shotters, they made another movie.
Wow.
And I mean, I chilled with Mad Max, even though he played a different character in that movie. I interviewed big stars. I've never seen the movie. So when I first red carpet, it's like I'm interviewing.
What was this at?
This was in the Marriott in New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
So my first introduction interviews, I've never seen the movie, so I can't ask him about the characters.
Yeah.
Mad Max, I didn't even really know who he was because he had cut his dreads off. And then as I'm interviewing him, I'm looking good like, Mad Max, they did not tell me it was you, Mad Max. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, people look totally different in person, bro.
right. But to make a long story short, once I finished that night, that was like supposed to be my biggest thing ever. And the footage disappeared.
Wow.
Right.
You told me this story before.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
So you never found it? You never found out?
Never. The only thing I have is like the pictures I took with Mad Max and those things, you know what I'm saying? But as far as the interviews or any of that, these people wanted me to really feature in their next movie.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, by that happening out, then they messed up this opportunity for me to get in their next movie.
And that's another thing I learned about when you got a camera and you consider yourself a videographer or anything in the camera world.
Right.
You don't have that footage is a problem.
Right.
And that's something I don't did that. I'm shooting with the camera, thinking the camera rolling, and it ain't even rolling. Or I thought I pushed record, and it ain't even shooting. You know?
Right.
And you've been working for like 20, 30 minutes on a project, and then you come to find out ain't no footage.
Let me tell you, I shot 2 movies like that.
Wow.
2 documentaries on single fathers, and mysteriously, both of the footage got stolen. So there's a lot of situations like obstacles like that I've been through that I could have just gave it up and said, I'm not doing this no more. I ain't got time for this no more. But then what, you know what I'm saying, what lesson am I teaching like the young kids or the future generations? Just give up on your dreams and stuff? No. But I've had that situation with 2 films, 2 different times.
That's the hard. That's because that's part of the creation. That's the creating part of it. The creating part, you gotta have proof. That's the footage.
Right.
If you don't have the footage, and so that's why the more I learn about the camera world, the more I learned that there is very important far as even with the batteries, making sure the battery is fully charged or the lighting.
Everything.
Yeah, the lighting. You make sure the lighting, batteries don't run out, or the socket, anything that can cause your footage.
Right, and don't get us wrong. You can do it, but it's very hard when you're in front of the camera and behind the camera, and you're trying to control. How can you control what goes on behind the camera? And you gotta make sure that you're controlling what's going on in front of the camera, also. You know what I'm saying? And that was like my first book. That's like the biggest lesson I teach is you have to have ownership over your stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You have to have something to fall back on in case things don't work out. Now, from that lesson is when I learned how to multitask here. I was doing this show, I didn't really have like a solid crew. Charlie works with me now, thank God, from last year, but previously before that, it's been just like a cycle of producers that I've come in here and worked with. You know what I'm saying?
Well, like I said, when it comes to creation, man, a lot of times a person, they want fast results. And in the art world, creative world, sometimes you ain't gonna get a fast results as well. That's why a lot of people start but don't finish.
Right.
And I used to be like that. That's something that I ain't gonna say I mastered it, but I learned to, if I start something, I got to finish it. You know what I'm saying? And I learned that by going to college. College taught me that, to finish it. Because I used to, like I said before I went to college, I used to start on a painting or a drawing. I would draw it, and I never go back to it. Now, even in using the camera, you know, if I set my mind on shooting a film, something, or a show or whatever I got going on, I gotta make sure I finish it. Or at least get all the footage.
Right.
And one day I'll come back to create it, you know. So I can understand when it comes to artists or people that's in the creative world that they give up, man. Like a lot of them give up because you gotta understand the creative world is not really a part of paying bills. It's a blessing if you get a job that you're creating.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if your creative world not paying the bills, you gotta go work somewhere else.
Right.
So your creative side it ain't gonna get attention like it's supposed to.
Even, you know, when it gets to those situations, because I plan to write some more series of books, you know what I'm saying? That's just this topic that we're talking about now.
All right, so you kind of break down where you going with these next, how many more books? I mean,
just the areas that I specialized in, or I feel that I mastered, or I know a little bit more, might know some tricks or trades of that area, like single parenting. You understand what I'm saying? There's a couple more areas I could talk about. You understand what I'm saying? I just didn't want to throw all of my eggs in one basket now. Right. So that's why.
But that's good to know you continue your journey. And so let me ask you this: on your these last 5 books that you created, if an author or someone who wanted to create or write a book or something like that, what can you give them to inspire them to do it? Because I don't met a lot of people say they want to write a book, they're gonna write a book, they should write a book, but they never write it. So can you break down what made you go through those doors?
It's just, if I don't tell these stories, then these stories go to the grave with me. You understand what I'm saying? So it's that type of situation to where it might be people out there that needs these stories. You know what I'm saying? That needs them, okay, to save them from making the wrong decision in life, to save them for just giving up on their dreams. So that was the main thing. It was real hard because sometimes when you go into your past and you look at stuff that you made it through, it can become depressing.
Yes, it will.
But then you have to remind yourself, you already made it through. I'm just doing a flashback right now. You know what I'm saying?
I can relate. I can most definitely relate. When I'm creating and telling the stories, and when I travel back in time and see what happened, the emotions, the feelings, the everything, all of it is like, it's like pulling the rug up and you see all that. And it's like, but it also, like you said, writing this book, telling this story, you don't want to take it to your grave also can benefit other people that's coming behind you.
Yes, definitely. Because I don't want people to feel like, oh, I thought it was so hard. And it's nothing really hard in life. You just have to be able to take them steps and initiate, you know what I'm saying, whatever you're trying to do. But it's not hard. And once you try to do it, do you realize I've been doing graphic arts. I did all the graphic arts on my Instagram page from the time I started this show. So I already had trained myself in certain things, you know what I'm saying? So it was comfortable for me to go and do it there, you know what I'm saying? And it was fun at the same time because I started doing graphic arts in 2012. We're talking 12 years later, so I have to be at another level 12 years later. You understand what I'm saying? So,
And it shows in your book covers. It's very detailed, very, insight on
right, I'm gonna give them a little another spoiler. I did my title pages also, so my title page is not just like no regular bloop bloop bloop, and that no, I put some graphic arts in my title pages also because, like I said, I want to draw people in, and I want their minds to open up and expire, and that's what reading books are supposed to do. Sometimes it's good to have the visual, but sometimes you need this to create your own visual things. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you really gave me a lot of insight, man, on this.
I appreciate it. You know what I'm
Like
saying?
I said, when I listen to other people share their experience on what it was like creating, it's like I can relate, and also it's like you give me more insight on other things as well, because creating sometimes can be a challenge, a very big challenge. So can you give us your insight on when you're creating, the challenges that you have, and how do you get through those challenges to keep producing?
I'm a visual.
Like for instance, you've been doing this show for years.
Right.
What keep you driving?
I'm like these later years, I had became a U.S. ambassador, like my uncle who's a legal U.S. ambassador. But just keeping it's like hard to keep up with people, different personalities, like right. So, but the previous years it was more of, like what athletes do. I see the finish line. I know where I'm trying to go. Okay. Right, and I'm determined to make it there, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So they have to visualize
like
these
the
things.
Super Bowl or the
Right.
final champion. I understand.
Right.
You want those trophies.
Right.
In life,
Right.
And that's where I'm at. Is where I just want to, and I love it. That's the main. That's the foundation of my creation. I love to produce and see what I could do.
It's just crazy because I was just talking about you earlier, and I said, you know what? You remind me of me when I first got to the studio because you and everything, you know what I'm saying? And you just want to do it. And that's the experience that you're supposed to have. Like, that's the feeling that you're supposed to have when you're in these type of industries. You cannot come in with depression. Can't come in there with Debbie Downer. Oh, the weather's messed up. Oh, I can't do right. You gotta be very optimistic and be willing to try new things and learn new things.
Yes, and that's so. With saying that, we are almost to the end.
We sure are.
Can you give the world insight on what's your future goals? What you got coming soon? What what they can also tell them where they can follow you at on social media, where they can follow you, keep up with you on what you're doing in the world.
All right, so I'm gonna just do a point like this back here.
Okay.
That's my IG name up there. On YouTube, you can look up the show, Live That SINY. They added it up.
YouTube,
the YouTube came up there too. As far as the books, Amazon. As far as in person, this is also my email, livethatsiny@gmail.com. Did I leave anything out?
No, you know, it's basically it, you know. So give them kind
but
of a glance of what you got coming, looking forward to in the future.
Honestly, sky's the limit. I actually wanted to do a children's show today, but I had a couple of talented kids, but I need a certain amount of talented kids. So look forward to that. Look forward to the next 5 books to complete this series right here. Look forward to the documentaries coming up. Look forward to something else I said I wanted to do. I'm gonna
Plays. Tell them about you getting into
the
to
plays.
writing the plays or whatever.
Right, for 2 years
Let
now.
the people know if you're interested in being in a play, you know, you can shout out to the world.
Yeah, you can sure do. We have our company. Can't even think of the name of it. That's
But,
bad.
you know,
right. But if you want to be in any of our plays, reach out. I would prefer that you reach out to Alex Duncan, who's my partner with the play. He's a playwright. He's been doing this since college days in the 50s or 40s or 30s. Who the heck knows? But he sees it. You know what I'm saying? And just anything, my guests inspire me. So I never know what could come next. You know what I'm saying?
Also, if someone wanted to come in on your show to share their story or their experience or their talents, how could they do that?
Well,
What is the footsteps to being a part of your show?
I mean, being that we on live TV and national TV, I don't know much. You can contact the studio and tell them, give me Ja. I want Ja to interview me. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably one of the best ways. Or if you see me in the streets, approach me in the streets. I've been approached in the streets quite a few times. And like I said, that's an experience in itself because it's been times where everybody have their days and they want to give up and they want to quit and they can't do this no more. And then somebody comes and says, I see you, I watch your show all the time. You're such and such. Oh, that's you.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's a legacy. So for the future, it's going to be a legacy to where my future generations have something to look forward to and not be embarrassed about. I'm not going to be doing no OnlyFans pages and all of that stuff there. Okay? I got that out.
Well, that's understandable. But yeah, man, it was nice for you to invite me on your show to interview you on your show. And it was a pleasure, man, like I said, in me helping you learn how to create books, publish books, write books, because like I said, that's something that it's also therapeutic as well, because me writing my past or me creating with words, it's a form of releasing, it's a form of healing for me, you know. It's because writing is very inspirational in me, because I can either write truth or I can write fiction, you know. I can write nonfiction and fiction,
Right.
you know, and that's the beauty of creating. So.
Oh, they wrapping us up. So we only need 30 seconds for the end. Anything you forgot? Where can they find you at?
You can find me at Graffiti University Comics. On social media, you can find me at One Eye Television. Also at Staten Island Community Media at Staten Island, New York. And also you can find me on YouTube as well at Graffiti University Comics.
All right now.
Thank y'all for coming.
SINY. Yes, I.